Good morning. Time to begin once again. And the topic for today is honestly one that I wrestle with over and over. The title is New Consciousness and Old-Time Religion. Those who have been listening over a period of time know that I was raised as a fundamentalist, evangelical, charismatic Christian. It was the old-time religion of my parents and those that came before. If someone had said to me at that time that I was religious, I would have denied it. I loved Jesus, which to me had nothing to do with religion. Of course, even though I questioned certain things, it took a while before I came to the new consciousness that Christ was the divine in everyone and everything. And even longer to realize that the conflict I saw within and without was the result of a belief that life was about conflict. The battle between good and evil, light and darkness. Many still do not get this crucial fact. Everything is connected. If there is one thing I'd like people to see, that's it. What triggered this are posts by an individual to a post that I made yesterday. Let me just go back up, scroll here. There will always be duality. And I wrote, I like this. Indeed, there will always be duality. This person gets it. And I shared the post with someone who had sent it to me. And another fundamentalist Christian joins in and starts calling that New Age religion because it used symbols of the serpent and the Ouroboros, or the serpent eating its tail. And that made it New Age as opposed to the true old-time religion of the Bible and of the Matrix Christianity. I say the Matrix Christianity because for a good long time now, I've not considered Christianity to be a Christian religion because of the things that are inconsistent within itself. They have a very powerful devil and a very weak God. But this person wrote, you think that you are God and that you created yourself. This is foolishness and pride. When you try to exercise your own will over the Creator's plans, I can assure you, things will never turn out good. It's all about going with the flow and appreciating what we have. Let His will be done. I'll be honest with you. The first time I heard a human being say that I am God, it was in Shirley MacLaine's book, Out on a Limb. And I was appalled. Oh, Shirley MacLaine. Oh, my God. How can you believe that you are God? I mean, you're so... I didn't believe it. And yet I was impressed by many things I read in that book. Shirley MacLaine had made the leap from the old-time religion to the new consciousness. And I can hear Christians saying, but the serpent in the garden said that if you eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you will be as God. Indeed, he was not lying. And you think that's crazy. There was, recorded in Numbers in the Old Testament, a plague of snakes in the in the wilderness when the children of Israel were going from Exodus into the promised land. Whether allegory, myth, or historical fact is irrelevant, the point is made in the story. Snakes were biting the people and the people were dying. And Moses created a brazen serpent, violating one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not make unto thyself a graven image of anything in the heavens or on the earth beneath. Thou shalt not do that, and Moses did it. He made an image. He made an icon of a serpent, of a snake, and he lifted it high up in the middle of the camp. And anybody that looked on the snake, the serpent, lived. And those that didn't died. And John, writing in the New Testament, in the Gospel according to John, said, even as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. And that's John 3:14, just before John 3:16, by the way. And the Son of Man was Jesus, the Christ, who was lifted up. And again, it's the Son of Man that's lifted up. One of us. But we are all children of God. That's the new consciousness that people in the old-time religion have a problem grasping. Now, this writer that I referred to earlier, whom I, by the way, blocked after, I'm just tired of doing this dialogue with people that refuse to see what Spirit is saying. Now, he says he has the revelation of the Holy Spirit about the serpent. And it's the only way it makes sense. Of course, it's the only way it makes sense in the Matrix. That's what the Matrix wants you to see. That it's a battle, an eternal battle between good and evil. But when you begin to see with the single eye, your whole being will be filled with light. That's also from the Bible. It's also from the Bible, the single eye. When you see with that single eye, you can see that everything is connected. It's not a battle between good and evil, right and wrong, light and darkness. That is a matrix perception. It's a physical perception that's easy to get in the world that we have created. Now, in the new consciousness, and we talked about this yesterday in the mystics group that I go to on Thursdays, life arranges itself according to what you believe. That's called grace. So that if you expect there to be a battle, well, he says, okay, I'll let you experience that. It's not true. You're not seeing with a single eye, but if that's what you want to experience, okay. You can experience that and see the fruit that it brings. What fruit does it bring? Constant conflict in our world, in our personal life, in our personal lives, as in relationships with others, and as in our collective experience. War, divorce, battles all the time raging, all the time raging. And it's the fruit of the old-time religion based on the misperception that life is a battle between opposites instead of a dance. I've said that many times. It's not a duel, it's a dance. But if we want the duel, we can duel. Well, I don't choose to duel anymore because I see the bigger picture. I was a fundamentalist Christian. That's how I was raised. That's what I believed to be true. And I tried my best to win people to Jesus so that they could be saved and not have to go to hell. I believed that as a teenager and as a young man, and of course as a child. But as I matured, I put away those childish things. Henry Ford said it, believe it true, believe it false, and you're right. That's how the world works. That's how consciousness works. It's not a matter of which one is right, because both of them can be experienced as apparently real. But even science tells us what the mystics have said for a long time. And Jesus himself was a mystic. Father, that they all may be one in us, that the world may know that you sent me. That they all may be one. And the scientists are telling us we are all one. We are interconnected. It's not a battle. It doesn't have to be a constant conflict between good and evil, right and wrong. It doesn't have to be that way. And if there's anything that I have passion about, it's unity. We were asked to go into meditation yesterday in the mystics class once again. And what are we here for? What's the one thing that's the biggest value and most important to us? And immediately, as we meditated for a couple of minutes with our eyes closed, immediately one word came to me, and we were supposed to distill it down to one word. Mine was already distilled down to one word, although my mind extrapolated a few things out of that and expanded upon it. But the one word that came to me that's the most important and the highest value to me is unity, which is what I talked about yesterday. Cooperation instead of competition. Unity is the highest value to me. That's the first thing that came to my mind. The very first thing. But I know that really, and this was the answer that was 3/4 of the people came up with the answer, love is the most important. But how does love manifest? Does love manifest as I love those that agree with me? Or can I love unconditionally everybody? Now, this person said that anyone who doesn't see it your way is made to seem like they are on a lower level of existence. Well, that's total BS, as were many of this person's comments, who went on and on and on till I blocked him. We're all on the same level of existence. We're human beings in the physical world, but in the higher dimensions, we are all spirits having a human experience. And we, at the higher level of reality, we are all interconnected. We are all one. Even if we play out the dualism here on earth and choose to make duality a duel instead of a dance. We have the choice. We have the choice. And this is something that I'm essential to what I'm trying to share with you. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. Do you have to believe what I believe to be saved? No, you don't. But you have to be. We all have to be whole within ourselves. If we're at war within our own being, we're going to keep creating that battle in the world around us. That's simply the way it works. Because the universe or life rearranges itself to fit our perception of reality. And that's the grace of God, allowing us to experience whatever it is we need to experience as prodigal sons and daughters of the living God in the far country, till we eat in the pig pen and we realize, hey, wait a minute, I can go back home. And many of us are doing that, and it's going to change the world from an old-time religion, a paradigm of darkness, of seeing war everywhere, to a new consciousness with a single eye of seeing unity, which allows us to experience love in our lives and ultimately in our world. And experiencing love in our world is peace on earth. I leave you with these thoughts. Wherever you are, don't get into the arguments with me, because I'm just going to cut it off. And if you persist, I'll cut you off. It's not what I want to do, but I don't want to live my life in a constant battle between people that are following their old-time religion, because I see a new world. And it's Jesus who sits on the throne, or Christ on the throne, that says, behold, I make all things new. Namaste.